we have a tool review. If you're looking into this particular tool, I actually went out and bought one so you don't have to. I'm gonna check it out and see if it's really worth it compared to a lot of the more expensive competitors. More right after this. I'm Rick, and this Shut the heck up, you stinking roosters. Bow up for your sanity. This is The Shack. Hello and welcome back to The Shack. In today's video, we're going to do a tool review of the Milescraft Track Saw. If you're in the market for a track saw, this might be your better choice. The main deterrent from me ever even purchasing a track saw is a lot of them came with a saw for that track saw. I have plenty of circular saws. I didn't need to add another one to the bunch. I need something I can use one of those saws onto that track saw, and that's where the Milescraft came in. It is universal, and you can mount any saw that you have presently to it without having to purchase something with an additional circular saw. Plus, it's much cheaper. And not that I needed one. If you check this video out here, that's what I've been using for like 25 years with fantastic results. I make my own circular saw guide, not a track saw, but a saw guide. Same principle. This is basically the father of the track saw. This is what I've used for 25 years. When you can make this for $0 if you have enough scrap, or buy like the Milescraft without having the additional cost of adding yet another circular saw to your tool cabinet. Let me reposition the camera and let's dive right in. Open this up and we'll see. All right. Nope. Cool. There it goes. Sliding the end down because it's just basically folded over and locks in right there. So we'll just, it'll pull down. There you go, like that. Open that up. Package pretty decent. So which end do I want to slide this out? There it goes. There's your universal base. Well, that pretty. Kind of reminds you of woodpecker, don't it? And one of these looks like it fell off that. Well, I'm a little disappointed. What the hell is that? Almost, if it was metal, it looks like rust. Oh, crap. Sorry about that, I lost my mic. Got yanked off of me. Yeah, I don't know what all you heard, but look at that. I don't know what that is. I don't like that. Well, that's not a good start. There's a flaw. That's terrible, man. I'm gonna have to give him an email and find out about that because I'm not going to do anything with this until I figure that out. Now that we have our replacement, everything's laid out. We're going to assemble this, and I actually need to use this like right now. So as soon as I get this done, get it all set up, I'm going to go outside. I'm going to use it. I got a project right here. I'll link it up there when it is ready. It won't be ready till next month. I am starting a new series, Magazine Mondays. I'm going to take a project out of a magazine, pick a build, and we'll just see how it goes, and hopefully it may inspire new woodworkers. So first things first, let's get this assembled. Step one, assemble the track. I gotta take one end off for now and take this end off. And I need these two long bars and the supplied Allen. Put those aside for now. So I gotta slide these in, flip this over. One goes in, which way did they go? Oh, going that way. I'll set this here. Oh, that ain't right. Oh, my mistake, they gotta go this way. I thought I had the right ends. I guess I didn't. Okay, try this again. Always helps to do it correct, right? Right. There we go. That's better. Just snugging them up. That's really good. Just set it on here, which would be like that. There we go. Yeah, I think that's good. So I got a little bit of play. I wonder how I adjust that. I'm sure we'll find out later. Comes with 4 optional guide adjusters to dial in the tension to the guide rails. I had to check this video out because I wasn't sure exactly what it was talking about, but because it's got this little slop in it, I guess you put these included little guides in here. So I'm going to put that in there to see how this is going to work. I think I'm going to have to get some shim or something in there. There we go. So that one's loose too. Well, this is what you're supposed to do. So I'm going to play with this a little bit, see if I can figure this out, because I don't like that play. I want it to be solid. I think I'm going to try this, see how this works. I'm going to take these end ones off. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to push this down. There we go. I'm going to wedge it in there, and I'm going to tighten this up. Nope, that's a little too tight. Ooh, that's pretty good right there. Nope, a little bit of play still. Wow. That's pretty good. I have hardly any, so let me get this one. I may be able to take that play out. See if it's in there. I don't know if you can see that. If I slide this in, I'm basically wedging it like this, pushing it out. So I'm holding it up to the top here. It slides in. See how it goes over? Holding it there to keep that nice and snug. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh man, that's nice. I like that. That works. So if you, yeah, that'll work just fine that way. And I can do the end ones and I will be in business. A little finicky, I have to admit, a little finicky, but we're going to get it. Oh, there we go. Good. The next step in the process here is we're going to now mount our saw to the guide base But we need this little saw blade spacer so we can get everything aligned and get it set properly. Now I've already had this on here, I've already used it, but because when I went to the edit, I ended up getting in the way. So I have to redo this whole section. So I took this all apart and I'm going to go through it one more time. You take your blade spacer, you're going to put it against your bench, table, whatever you have, and this is going to set on top of it. Basically, you look underneath here, this little lip right here fits right in there. Now once you set this on here, you have a little bit of play, but we're going to take care of that. Now these are all loose. Push everything back out of the way, and we're going to set our saw on here. Now when you set the saw on here, open the guard and set this down. Now you're going to push your blade against that spacer, and you want to push this forward so it's nice and snug. I was double checking the instructions, and it actually asked to set your circular saw base in the platform here as far back as possible. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring this back to where the screws are right here, and that's where I'm going to leave it for now on. And I'm going to slide that back. It's about right there. Now again, pushing against the saw blade. Let me pull that up because that went back. There. I want to keep the saw blade in the center of that saw blade spacer here. Pushing this in, make sure nice and snug. There's no play, it's tight. Push this up against the base of my circular saw. Tighten this up here. Now, again, whoops. There we go. Now I'm going to push the front one up against the circular saw base, tighten it up. So I actually moved about a ½ inch back, which is okay. So I think I'll leave that there. That looks good. Again, pushing this against the blade spacer, pushing the track saw guide base itself all together, make sure there's no place, nice and tight. Now, as far as positioning these little clamps, I mean, there's a bunch of different ways you could do it. I think I'm going to put those two there. The front one here, I am very limited. Basically, I have one place to set it, and that's going to be right here. So the opposite side of the front here, I don't know. And what I want to do, you have this leeway, the play here. I want this nut tightening about the middle, not the very end. A little more stability, a little more clamping pressure if it's in the middle. So I'm going to put it right there. And they say don't over tighten it. Snug, that's it. It's nice and tight. And that looks good there. Put it back here. See right there. Tighten that down. That's real snug. So let me spin this around and I'll show you. See right there. I have very little room to maneuver. So that's tight there. And on the opposite one, this piece of the circular saw, it just clears it. So I tighten that right there. So I got pressure points to there, pressure points to here, nice and tight. And that's where it stays, and that's where it'll be. And we kept it snug against this, pushing the base, so there's no play. It was very secure. Tightened everything down. Again, you don't over tighten it. I put a little bit more angled, tighten this where they stop. Very secure. Now, if your base is a little thick and you don't have room, I don't know that, man. I don't know how much thicker you would have a base, but they have these spacers. They would fit on there like that. So this would set in here, and that would be your spacer. Then you would tighten them down. Of course, I don't know if you have to have longer set screws or not, but so that is set, that is mounted. Let's get it on the track itself and shave it down for that zero clearance. What I'm going to do now, we're going to trim the red piece, basically end up being a zero clearance for the saw. Slide these stops in. and good. Slide this one in. There we go. I'm gonna start it. I'll lower it down till it passes this. I'm gonna start out about here. And then I'll cut the whole thing. So let's see how this goes. I will set this at 10 1/4. So we'll see how she does. Look at that, no tear out. That is a nice cut. That's basically a 0 clearance. And I need 10 1/4. I am at 10, about a 16th shy. Yeah, about a 16th shy of a 10 1/4. That's okay, because now I get to cut it down to 10 inches, so that'll work fine. I'll run it down my table saw to the final dimension and make sure I get it correct. That is a nice cut. Straight, because this is basically a 0 clearance. You're talking, I got a little bit of splinters here and there, a few places down there, but overall, this is almost as good as you get on a table saw. Very, very minimal tear out. Backside, perfect, nice. If you're in the market for a track saw, you don't want to spend the money for like a Craig or DeWalt or any of these other $300 or $400 track saws. This, for the price, I think it does a fantastic job. And for the most part, I only need to cut a sheet down in half, but I usually can do that on the table saw. But for those who don't have that capability, this is a viable option. I got it just so I can show versatility in the shop. So I can use this sometimes versus throwing it on the table saw. Check in the description. I'll have links to a couple of videos down there in regards to these and to that build. So overall, I would definitely give this a 4-star, only because right there where they join, it's not the smoothest transition right here. And I did take 1000 grit paper and I sanded this ridge off, so now these little guys here don't catch on it, and they were building up a little material because it was actually scraping at it. Other than that, it's nice and true and straight and solid. I would definitely suggest you have a dedicated saw for this. Leave it on there if possible. I think it's best to get a saw that you can keep on here and use it. So yeah, definitely a full 4-star, just because I had little issues tweaking and a little finicky trying to get these. If it went together flawlessly, definitely would have been a 5-star, but it does what it does. It really didn't exceed my expectations. The customer service was fantastic. They got me new and out quick. I just wished I could have kept the other ones at a discounted price. She said they don't do that because they want to keep a certain quality. I understand that, but I told her Woodpecker sells the tools that may come in that the anodizing isn't just right, maybe blotchy or something. They sell those at a discounted price as seconds. Still good quality, still very, very accurate. It's just finish or certain things didn't come through like they should. I don't care what it looks like if it works. I would have loved to kept those other two pieces, even though they had some blotchy spots on it, at a discounted price. But it is what it is. They didn't want to work that way. That's fine. These are good. This will be 90% of what I do. Rarely do I use the 8-foot, but it does come in handy sometimes, especially if I'm doing siding on the house or something. Then I need a full length to cut a piece to width. Anyway, definitely 4-star. Milescraft, the track saw guide, this kit, excellent kit. I definitely think it is well worth the money versus the other brands at a much more expensive price. This will definitely get the job done for what you need. We are done. Thank you so much for watching. Be blessed. Take back your shack for your sanity. Not a bad little track saw. Definitely has its place in the shack. Thanks again for watching. We will see you next video.